ako dyan niluluto ko Pero ako pa. Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Kabayan. Ang
Bangon lang niluluto mo Nalakaw pa. Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Hello, magandang gabi po. Narinig niyo ako, hope narinig niyo ako. Now, good news and bad news po tayo ngayon. Good news, it's Happy Thursday. And as usual, nandito ako. And of course, we have also our talented Paula Perez, yung director natin. Bad news po, wala si Sonny ngayon. But don't switch off, no? I'll try and keep you hopefully entertained for the duration nga. He's gone off. He's abroad. I don't think he'll mind, but it seems he's gone off to Greece. No, I suspect that for kind of Valentine's celebration. So we'll tease him when he's back. But anyway, so tayo lang po. So hopefully you will continue nga to join me and Paula on today's Thursday immigration. Now, let's change it up a bit. Yung pinag-usapan namin ni Paula kanina. So, at the moment, of course, while Sonny's not around, I thought we'd sneak in a slight change. So, ang theme po natin ngayon is Ask Me Anything Thursday. No? So, kung ano mga questions nyo, immigration please, no? Ask me. So it's Ask Me AMA Thursday. Ask Me Anything Thursday. And actually, a few people have already emailed me nga mga questions. And so we have quite a lot to, in fact, discuss nga today. But before doing anything, of course, the usual, start bati muna. So, may bumabati ba sa atin? Hopefully, Pao, of course, Mr. Fernandez. Magandang Huwebes sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay. Good evening, Attorney Lira. Kuya Sonny in Greece and Direct Pao. Hi, Oliver. Kamusta? How's your running doing? Okay ka ba? Hopefully, yeah. Don't pull anything, no? And of course, Mr. Duway. Edgar. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, mga classmate. Lalong-lalo na, napaka-smart. I love this man. Na Attorney Lira and Mr. Yummy Slim. Tama ka, no? Sonny Laragan and talented Direct Paula. Happy Dagdag Kalaman Day. Salamat, Edgar. Oh, it's good of you to join. So that's two gentlemen so far. Can we do a hat trick? Sinong pangatlo? Ma'am Cora. Hi, Ma'am Cora. Sorry, wala si Sonny ngayon, but I'll try and keep you entertained nga, no? Si Ma'am Cora Carsola. Hello po. Hopefully you well, no? Keeping healthy. Miss Paner. Marian Galicia Paner. Hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira. At sa lahat, happy Thursday po and stay safe and God bless po. Yeah, you too, Miss Paner. Ingat ka. Hopefully, well, I think they're saying now that the restrictions will be lifted. So, hopefully, kailangan natin mag-ingat lalo. No? Emmeline Rafael. Hi, Madam. Hello, good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to both and everyone. Caps letters, so she's feeling well. Hi, Madam. Kumusta po? Kumusta, Miss Rafael? Hopefully, you're doing well and keeping safe, ha? So, sino pa pong bumabati sa atin? Rosemary Guban. Okay. Hello, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira. Magandang gabi po. Rosemary, where are you watching us from? Yeah. Kamusta? It's an interesting photo sa likod, no? Are you well? Hopefully you are, no? Mary Rose Fronda. Good evening po, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira. Hi, Mary Rose. Where are you watching us from tonight? Hopefully you're nice and snug, no? Lamig nga dito. And we're obviously broadcasting from cold London today. Ang lamig. Direct Paula. Direct Paula. Hi, Direct Paula. So yeah, it's been cold. Sabi nila it will snow. I mean, actually today there's been a drop in temperature. So ang lamig-lamig nga, no? So I'm quite jealous, in fact, of Sonny, who's hopefully in a warmer climes nga in Greece, ha. Cora Casola, enjoy your stay in Greece. Tama nga. Hello, Direct Paula. Tama. I'm so jealous, no? Hopefully Greece is actually a bit warmer. I'm sure it is. So I don't know whether he'll actually be able to join us nga later, kahit maigsi nga lang. But in any event, hopefully he will enjoy it. I'm sure he will. So sino pa po? Sino pa nakamusta sa atin? Team Libroho. Rudy Libro. Happy Thursday, elegant and lovely Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny and Sir Edgar and lovely Direct Paula and all viewers from Team Libro. I tell you what, this family is talented, especially si Mia nga, no. It's astonishing voice, astonishing. But thanks for saying hello, Rudy. It's nice to hear from you and good of you to join me actually nga at the moment. So, yung nga po, yung pinag-usapan nga natin kanina, Sonny's not here. Heartbroken about it, but you know, it is advanced, I would imagine, no? Valentine's nga. So, we'll try and keep ourselves amused. Now, yung nga ang theme po natin ngayon is Ask Me Anything Thursday. Now, and in pursuit of that, we've actually had a few emailed questions, no? And so gagawin ko is I'll read out the questions, if that's okay, and then we'll go through them. We have quite a lot to get through. It goes from asylum to IHS, yung NHS nga, to the points-based system, to do with carers nga, to do with marriage in the Philippines. So, ang dami nating topic nga ngayon. So, please, keep us company throughout. Hopefully, it'll be interesting for you. It's certainly been very interesting for me just to go through the questions. But before anything, just in case, it's also, of course, important nga na we continue with the usual format. So, Pao, kung merong mga adverts, let's do it now, and then we'll launch into the topics, of which we have very big ones.
Mula doon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
%100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Bakit yung niluluto mo Nalakabo pa. Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Welcome back po. Now, happy Thursday, of course. No, yung nga, bad news is Sonny's not with us today. No, he's celebrating in advance Valentine's. So hopefully in sunnier climes nga, no? We are on our own with Paula. So let's we thought we'd change it up a bit, huh? So tingnan natin nga kung if hopefully you will continue to join us. So it is today, it's Thursday. Happy Thursday, of course. Ask me anything Thursday. So we'll go through all the questions nga. We have some big questions na pag-uusapan nga natin. And hopefully you enjoy, no? Now, sino pong una? Pao, question 1 natin. So, okay. So, galing po to kay AC. Now, oh yeah. Okay. Good. So, good evening po, Attorney Lira. Napanood ko po ang update nyo sa healthcare. Yeah. Ask ko po, dahil sa ngayon, nagwo-work ako sa isang elderly age 95 years old for 11 years na po. Sa ngayon, ang status ko po, asylum po with work permission for 2 years. At naka-almost a year na po itong permission ko. Sa government nang funded para sa continuous care ng mother nila. At napupunta ngayon yan sa akin po. Any possibilities po na makalabas ako sa asylum at i-apply ko po itong matanda ko sa another application po. Pumasok pala ako dito year 2008 as student visa. At year 2010, nag-apply ako work permit with tier 2 na refuse po ko dahil na late ang pagpasa ng amo ko ng application. So, naging overstay ako. Sa asylum ko po naman, wala po akong final decision. Wala pa po akong final decision. Thank you, Attorney, sa reply mo. God bless and take care. Thank you po. Now, okay. So, galing po to kay abbreviation nga AC. AC, salamat po sa question. And I know we emailed earlier. Now, I love this question, no? Dahil ang daming mga issues na tinanong nga niya. Now, we'll go through all the points of concern. So, una po, so this the asylum nga, no? Basic rule, and usually I don't deal with asylum dito, no? But let's deal with some points in relation to asylum. Basic rule, no work allowed, no? Yun ang basic rule. But once you've been waiting at 12 months, so mahigit ng isang taon naghihintay kayo ng sagot nga ng Home Office about the asylum application, you can then apply to the Home Office for permission to work. Now, even if the Home Office give you permission to work, it does not mean that you can just do anything. So, for example, nga self-employed o kaya sa shop o kaya sa opisina, it does not mean that, unfortunately. So even if you get permission not to work, it doesn't mean that you can work to do anything, for example, no? Now, however, what they do say is you can work where the job is under what's called the shortage occupation list. Now, alam niyo naman, a shortage occupation list would include people like nurses nga, doctors dito, some teachers, but they're not really that wide, no? The work, the type of employment that you can undertake. But from well, actually, I'm told, in fact, the 15th of February, no? Carers, that is normal carers rather than just senior care workers nga, no? Would be included on the shortage occupation list, which means that you can also take up employment nga as a carer. Yeah. Now, what's interesting with this with AC's question nga is it's clearly yung trabaho nga niya, yung the 95-year-old is not within the shortage occupation list. So what probably happened is that the Home Office, nung tinignan na yung application niya for permission to work, they said, okay, there are exceptional circumstances, so we will give you permission to continue working for this employer, the 95-year-old. Now, thing to take away also from this is yung asylum, sabi mo nga asylum doon, no? Yung asylum claim mo, hindi pa yung visa you have an existing application. It just means you can stay in the United Kingdom whilst your application is being considered. But if refused, no, they expect you to leave the United Kingdom. Now, of course, asylum also means, unfortunately, that sinasabi mo that if you go back to the Philippines, you'll be subject to persecution. And that means, of course, you can't simply go back to the Philippines kung may pamilya ka pa doon without compromising your claim. In the meantime, the fact that you are a paid carer, is fine because you're not limited in the type of work that you can undertake. Now, so unang-una po yung asylum. So it's not an asylum. Yung status mo nga ngayon, you're not an asylum. You've not been granted asylum. You're just waiting for your asylum matter to be dealt with, which means that because you've been waiting longer than 1 year, you have permission not to work. Now, second question po is you want to switch on the basis of your long relationship nga with your employment, your employer, 95-year-old lady, because you've been working with her for 11 years. No, can you? Yun ang question mo sa akin. So, an application for exceptional circumstances may be made, yeah, but the facts must be exceptional. So, unang-una, one possibility is, okay, asylum ka nga, nagpasok ng asylum, can you change it over to anything else? Well, yes, you can make an application on exceptional circumstances nga. And they do mean exceptional. Now, kailangan mo nga pakita nga na for example, if it's going to be on the basis of your relationship with your employer, na close kayo, it goes beyond employer-employee relationship. Kung paalisin ka nga dito, it may mean that her life is shortened. So you will need to submit really strong, especially medical evidence that focuses on you, that your case is so exceptional, no? Na kailangan ka ngayong bigyan ng visa over and above what you have now. Now, that kind of application is not an easy application po, no? As I've said, you need a lot of documents, a lot of evidence now to show that indeed there are exceptional circumstances that should warrant a grant of leave. Kung makuha mo yon, then bisang bibigay sa'yo 2.5 years. And pagka 10 taon ka na dito, then, and only then, can you make an application, in fact, for indefinite leave to remain. Now, the problem is, of course, whether you get that or not. No, if you get a refusal, of course, that would mean that they would ask you again to leave the United Kingdom. Now, although you don't have a visa at the moment, the asylum seeker ka nga, nag-iintay ka pa rin, you can work as a carer for an organization on the shortage occupation list. And this is what's changing on the 15th of February, finally. No? So, because the carer job is then part of the shortage occupation list, you can then work for, say, an organization. Hindi nga pwede yung employer mo because she's obviously not an organization. Now, it doesn't mean na bibigyan ka ng visa under the points-based system, but you can work for that organization. Ang maganda nga, sabihin natin, nakakuha kang trabaho doon and you're part-time with your 95-year-old, or you're continuing with that, or you're part-time nga with the organization, working as a carer. When you have both, what you can then do, AC, is you can see about changing over your application under asylum nga on the basis of exceptional circumstances, private life. So basically, sasabihin mo matagal ka na dito, which of course you have been. You're working in shortage occupation, kailangan ka. On top of that, kailangan ka ng 95-year-old na employer mo nga. No? And that means that taking all those points, that you should be granted exceptional leave to remain. So it's a bit tricky, frankly. But ang payo ko, start looking also at carer type visas with organizations, no? That you're allowed to work for them. And that will then strengthen any case that you may make on exceptional circumstances. Now, just on that, yeah, because matagal ka na nga dito, there's something also called the 20-year rule, the long residence rule, no? But of course, 20 years is still about 6 years to go. So that's probably not really a route that you would want to look at in any with any great seriousness at the moment. But certainly the exceptional. So if you're looking to make an application to change over from your application as an asylum nga dito, no, the thing to look at is this exceptional circumstances. But you need to make sure that there are exceptional circumstances. I think yung 95-year-old mo nga na tinalaga mo nga ngayon, on its own, that may not be enough as exceptional circumstances, even though you've been together 11 years, no? You have a better chance than some, probably than most, with the circumstances that you have, because you have been together a long time. But that may not be on its own enough. So that's what I'm saying to you, because you're allowed to work, you would be allowed to work once it's included on the shortage occupation list as a carer, gawin mo din, no? For one thing, it's added income, huh? But also it's experience that they want and skill set that you can then prove on if you were to make an application on exceptional circumstances, no? But it is, as I say, a bit it's not an easy application to make, you know, AC. So, ang payo ko, I hope this at least points you in the right direction nga, no? So, if you are unsure, unclear, you must seek advice. And yung mga employer mo, if you make an application as a care nga, if gusto nang malaman, are you allowed to work, show them, of course, yung BRP mo, yung biometric mo, kasi it will say there that you have a visa. And then they can check themselves with the Home Office. And because it is a shortage or part of the shortage occupation list, or will be soon, no, the carer route, they should say that you're allowed to work. So it's a bit long-winded, no, but I think it is there's a possibility. But thank you for that, you know, AC. It's as I say, it's a great question. Dahil ang daming mga issues now that's been raised, starting from asylum to obviously the points-based system and the exceptional circumstances. So hopefully that's of help. Okay. So, sino pong pangalawa? Okay. Now, I would also say nga, no, that even though Sonny is not here, I invite you to put in your questions, Happy to deal with them. It is, after all, Ask Me Anything Thursday, So anything at all within immigration, no? Don't ask me anything else, but anything about immigration, happy to assist. So, sino pang question natin, Pao, kung meron pa? Okay. I think hinahanap nga ni Pao. So, let's just on that, actually, sabi ko nga, the care visa. Additional news is this, no? It seems that the care visa, no, will finally be part of the shortage occupation list on the 15th. Okay. So immigration question muna. Okay. So I'll carry on with that later on. So ito po galing KR, no? Good evening, Attorney Lira. Sana po masagot niyong tanong ko. Kung illegal 5 years tapos, nag-apply last year ng family private life at nagbayad po IHS, ginamit yung NHS, pumunta sa hospital para magpa-x-ray at mammogram, no? Kailangan po bang magbayad o hindi na kasi, nagbayad naman po kami ng health surcharge. Sana po masagot nyo, please. Thank you. One more question. So actually, there was one more question at How many weeks after submitting our requirements for tribunal would you expect the hearing to take place? Okay. Yeah. So, nice question po, R, no? So, okay. it's again, I like this question. There it deals with quite a lot of points. So unang-una po, IHS or NHS nga, no? Free access to NHS is only allowed where the treatment is deemed to be what's called primary care. So ma-aksidente kayo, then that would be primary care, which means that you would receive treatment nga from the NHS free. Now, pero hindi ibig sabihin, anything else outside primary care, unfortunately, is secondary care ang tawag nga. And a mammogram and x-ray would be considered not primary care, which means kailangan nyo magbayad. It doesn't matter na nagbayad na nga kayo ng IHS, no? That will only make a difference kung mabigyan nga kayo ng visa. So unang-una, of course, kailangan nyo magbayad ng home office fee pag nagpasok kayo yung application. And then pangalawa, kailangan nyo din magbayad at the same time of the IHS. But it does not at that point entitle you to NHS free care. Hindi po pwede. So which means that you have to pay for the x-ray and the mammogram. Now, just by the way, if you don't pay, no, tapos siningil nga kayo, hindi kayo nagbayad, and the debt is over £500, they can refuse your application just on that basis. So NHS debt, £500 lang ang limit. So it's important kung singiling nga kayo, magbayad kayo, no? Because otherwise it would be a problem. So unfortunately it means you do have to pay po. Now on the second point na question nyo, waiting for appeal. Now appeals are the good news is, you know, courts are tribunals nga are listing things more rapidly now, but they have quite a huge backlog. Just to give you an idea, the question mo, when are you likely to get the hearing date, no? At the moment, my experience is you're looking at least a minimum of 6 months. Just to give you po an example, meron akong pinasok na application, the appeal, no, in June 2021, no? And I have the hearing, I just found out, I have the hearing on the 2nd of March. So 8 months waiting time, no? And it's also a remote hearing, so it's not even a personal hearing. Yeah. So unfortunately, it is there's quite a bit of delay. But I take from that second question, it could be that you've had a refusal. Kung na-refuse ka, then make sure, no, that you deal with the deadlines. Dahil may mga deadlines to submit the skeleton argument nga, may deadlines for the bundle for the hearing, no? May deadline nga din yung home office. But make sure that you check your emails regularly. Dahil papadala na lang by email. Kung meron kang solicitor, they should also get the email. Papasa nila sa inyo. So make sure that you are ready, because you know, even if it takes 6 months or in some cases nga 8 months, even longer, that goes really quickly. At saka, it's not long really to get all the documents na kailangan nyo. Don't forget, pinag-usapan natin last time, if you're appealing, or actually even applications, but especially kung mag-a-appeal nga kayo, make sure you submit a good statement, okay? Yung statement nyo, yun yung sasabihin why it is that the Home Office was wrong in refusing your application, why it is that the appeal should therefore be granted, no? So importante po yun, and don't just give general statements na you want to stay here because this is where, you know, this is where you're living now and this is where your family life is. Kailangan yung, there has to be specifics, sabihin nyo, why is that? So ang kailangan yung sagutin, why do you need to remain in the United Kingdom, and give as much evidence nga as you can. But yeah, so it's so NHS is payable, unfortunately, but good luck. Okay. So this is a good one, actually. Again, I mean, we've had we've had really quite a lot of very interesting and wonderful questions nga, no? So, hello po, Attorney Lira. I need your advice po, no? So, sabi niya dito, I have no experience to get my own visa. Ano pong pinaka magandang gawin namin? Kasi balak po namin mag-meet for the first time sa Pinas this year, holiday season, no? Mas mapapadali ba kung yung pagpunta ko doon once mag-meet kami in person? Kasi willing naman siyang support all the documents and financial matters po. Kung ikakasal po dito sa embassy, kung pwede po ba, no? Mas may chance po bang ako ma-approve at if ever, mag-iiba din ba yung type ng visa na kukunin ko? I know malayo pa po pero I want to prepare mas maaga para less stress po. To make it short po, I have two options. No? Magmi-meet kami in person and apply for tourist visa with his support or sponsorship. Or secondly, no, magmi-meet kami in person, then gusto niyang magpakasal na while he is here sa Pinas. No? So this is our kababayan sa nasa Pinas nga siya. Please help and correct me kung allowed po bang mag same-sex marriage sa British Embassy sa Manila. Kung allowed po, then what should be your best advice? Sorry, medyo nahihirapan po akong to organize my thoughts. No? Galing po to kay Rodel. Ha? Again, a wonderful question because it deals with truly a gambit nga of issues. Now, let's start with the good news, Rodel. You can get married at the British Embassy in Manila, same-sex relationship. No? You can enter into a civil partnership there, for example. So you can formalize your relationship. Now, there are a number of requirements nga. One of which yung partner mo, yung fiance mo, would need to have been in the Philippines for at least 7 days, seven full days before you can give notice. Dahil doon ka naman nakatira, so you don't need that, obviously. This means kung dating siya Lunes, no, he can't give notice, you can't give notice until the following Tuesday. So 1 full week, no? Now, so the good news is, as I said, you can get married. There are documents nga that you need to complete. There are notices that you need to comply with. But it is nevertheless a possibility. So if you go on the Home Office website, nandoon yung kailangan mong gawin, in fact. If you want to email me though, so I'll send you the link, then email me. But ito po, that the marriage is just the first step, no? Marriage does not mean kahit kasal nga kayo, same-sex relationship, civil partnership nga, it does not mean na automatically makakapunta ka nga dito. You then need to consider the other conditions, no? And they would be, so sabihin natin kinasal nga kayo, you then need to be able to prove that the relationship is genuine. Now, Rodel, ingat ka, because one of the things that the Home Office will say is, well, hang on, kadadating nga lang niya, isang beses nga lang kayo pag nagkita, tapos kinasal na kayo, no? So that may raise doubts nga about the genuineness of your relationship. So, importante nga kung nag-i-email nga kayo ngayon, nag-Facebook kayo, o kayo nagpapadala siya ng pera, o kung nagpapadala ka ng pera sa kanya, all those must be, cataloged nga, no? So, you need to say sa statement mo, when did the relationship start, no? How have you made contact? Do you contact each other every day? Nag-FaceTime ba kayo? Nag-Zoom ba kayo? How do you know that the relationship now will work? Now, so in a day and age of internet nga and remote meetings, that's certainly it's a possibility. Pero kailangan yung explain nga na hindi nga lang na you emailed each other tapos he came and then you had then married. It's something that has been thought out, no? So their main concern, I suspect one of the main concerns would be genuineness nga of relationship. So kung nagpapadala siya o nagpapadala ka, make sure that you have those remittances. Now, there are other things na kailangan mo din pakita. kakasal nga kayo and you're coming in as a spouse or partner. There's the income requirement. The 18,600 ang kailangan niyang pakita, no? So, kung may trabaho siya dito, hopefully, and then ang income nga niya must not be less than 18,600 pounds per annum before tax, no? Now, that's evidenced by, say, payslips, also yung bank statements nga, kontrata, all those things, but must be no less than 18,600, no? You can, in some cases, also make use of savings, but ang taas ng savings na kailangan yung pakita. So, most of the people certainly I deal with is yung income ang ginagamit nga nila. So, 18,600. On top of that, accommodation, no? So, meron kang titirahan pagka nandito ka, for example, no? So, all those things need to still be satisfied. So, kahit kasal nga kayo, and you can get married, as I've said, at the British Embassy nga in Manila, or enter into civil partnership nga doon, then the second thing, as I've said, is the conditions. Conditions will include income 18,600, accommodation nga. So, all those things still need to be satisfied on top of proving or satisfying them that you are in a genuine relationship. So, option 1 mo, yung sabi mo nga, pwede ba kayong magpakasal nga sa atin? Absolutely, you can do that. But, and then you can make an application for a partner spouse visa to enter the United Kingdom. Option 1, no? Option 2, sabi mo nga, can you simply apply for visit visa to come to the UK? Yes, of course, you can apply for visit visa to come to the UK. Yung nga lang, kailangan mo bumalik. Pagka nandito ka na on a visit visa, anyone in the United Kingdom who is only here on a visit visa will need to return to the Philippines to make an application from the Philippines to come back in as a spouse. For example, no? Kung doon nga kayo kakasal sa atin. Pagka nandito na kayo, you can of course apply also for a marriage visit visa, but even with a marriage visit visa, kailangan mo pa rin bumalik because it's still a visit visa. So, kung balak nyo nga, dito na nga kayo titira, then a visit visa is probably not the way forward. No? And if you make an application for visit visa nga as a home office and you say it's in order to be able to marry in the United Kingdom and you apply for the standard one, they'll refuse you because they will say that's not the purpose of the visit visa. So, visit visa is a possibility, but as an option too. But I don't know whether that's really wise kung hindi naman yun ang purpose nyo. There's actually a third option. I know you've noted 2 options, marriage o kaya visit visa. There's the fiancé application, no? So, kung ang balak nyo nga, magpapakasal kayo, sabihin natin, dumating na siya, nagkagustuhan nga kayo, even more than you are now, and you want them to make your relationship official. Gusto ka nga niyang kunin dito in order to be able to marry in the United Kingdom. You can do that actually as a fiancé. No? Yung nga lang, kailangan niyo pa rin pakita that you actually satisfy all the requirements as a spouse. No? So all the requirements na kailangan pakita, that income, genuineness of relationship, English, no, A1 level nga, accommodation, lahat yon, all those still apply to a fiancé visa. The difference between a fiancé visa and a spouse visa is 6 months lang bibigay sa inyo as a fiancé. And pagka kinasal na kayo, pagka nandito na kayo, nandito ka na, then you make an application to change the fiancé visa to that of a spouse. No? That's how it would work. So if you like 2 applications po. No? So you actually have 3 options. Now, part of your question also is how, ano mas mabilis? I wouldn't actually decide on the type of application with that as a primary consideration. The first thing to consider really is ano bang purpose nyo? No? Dahil kung magpasok, sabihin natin magpasok yung visit visa because you think that will be faster nga. It doesn't really achieve what you want to achieve. No? Dahil gusto nyong gawin nga, dito na kayo titira. You want to be here as a family, no? As a married couple nga in the United Kingdom. So a visit visa is probably not really going to go, it's not going to be really helpful kung yun gusto nyong gawin. Dahil kung visit visa, kailangan mo pa rin bumalik. So start really, and this is a general advice to anyone, no? Kung ano man gusto nyo ipasok na application, always start with ano bang purpose nyo, no? Anong gusto nyo gawin dito? Kung ang purpose is to work, then you need to look at the skilled worker route, for example nga. If the purpose is to study, of course, the study route, tier 4, and of course, if it's marriage, then you should see about either fiance o kaya actually getting married in the Philippines, for example, and coming into the United Kingdom. Now, of all those three things, Rodel, if you're both serious naman, no, to formalize nga your relationship, and he satisfies all those requirements, as I say, income, accommodation, ikaw, of course, English, you need to do the TB test, get the TB certificate. Of course, important nga is yung genuineness of relationship, no? So if you satisfy all those, then you should perhaps just get married, no? Sa Pinas nga, and then come into the UK, apply to come into the United Kingdom as his partner, no? Spouse. I mean, it's all the same nga conditions. Pagka nandito ka na, on that basis, sabihin natin nakakuha ng spouse partner visa nga, ang visa bibigay sa'yo, maigsi nga lang muna, no? It's just to allow you entry into the United Kingdom. And that's usually for about 28 days, 1 month normally you have to, in order to use the visa to come into the United Kingdom. Pagka nandito ka na, nun nila bibigay sa'yo yung biometric card mo, the BRP, no? And that will then have the visa for the 30 months. So 30 months, of course, is 2.5 years. Yun ang una mong visa. Now, during that time, pwede kang magtrabaho, pwede kang magbiyahe, hindi mo kailangan bisang pabalik nga dito. You can also study if you want nga. You can study and work at the same time, no? And of course, it's on the basis of your relationship. No? Bago matatapos ang visa mo, you can then make an application for extension of leave to remain in the United Kingdom. And it means exactly that. I-extend mo nga yung visa mo as a spouse. Now, when you have a spouse visa the second time around, so pag 5 taon ka na nga dito, so 5 years visa ka na, then you can make an application for indefinite leave to remain for settlement. No? And then actually 12 months, then shortly after that, in fact, you can make an application for naturalization, leading to a British passport. No? So it's a very good visa to have, the spouse visa, but yung nga, unang-una, I don't see as much of a problem really formalizing your relationship, getting married on the basis of same-sex relationship. More of a concern, or what you need to focus on mainly, I think, is the conditions of a marriage application. Yun ang kailangan yung intindihin, no? And so, umpisa nyo na nga ngayon, if you're not really keeping evidence of, your contact with each other, keep them, no? So, kung nagfe-Facebook nga kayo, your chats, for example, no? Kung nagte-text nga kayo, then again, your chats nga. So, you need to be able to show that it is a genuine relationship, no? And it's not something that you have not really thought about. Because last week, actually, pinag-usapan nga natin, sham marriages and marriages of convenience, no? So, it's useful actually to go back to that if you can access that, Rodel, no? Because therein we discuss the things that the Home Office may well look at, both to point to to concerns, whether it's a sham marriage, for example, or marriage of convenience, and also what they would look at that point to genuineness nga of relationship. No? So it's mainly good news, Rodel. And if you are someone who is worrying, clearly you are nga, no? It's good to take advice na nga ngayon, and hopefully he's able to, your partner is able to join you sooner rather than later nga in the Philippines. So probably not for Valentine's. Tell us when it's coming. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And with any luck, maybe next Valentine's, maybe Valentine's 2023, nandito ka na. So keep us informed, Rodel. Thank you for your question. Okay. Fourth question po natin. Okay. This is quite an interesting question as well. So, I'm an overstayer here po in the UK for over 3 years now. I first came here in the UK way back September 2009. I have a family here po in the UK before and a daughter, but we agreed that they go back home to the Philippines last 2018. Oh, okay. I'm a nurse by profession po in the Philippines. I heard the route of skilled worker visa po ngayon dito sa UK. I already have my IELTS academic but only have 6.5 score po, which I'm not sure if it can be one of the requirements of this route. I also finished my NVQ 3 and NCFE level 3 in assessing competence in the work environment po. Attorney, I would like to ask your advice and guidance po whether I can still apply here or go back home and apply there po. I asked few legal advice po and they all said that my case is very sensitive and not guaranteed if I apply here. Especially, I received a letter of removal last September 2017. Wow. Okay, B. Now, unang-una po, I'm sorry, no? It sounds like mag-isa ka nga lang dito. And I hope the family is okay nga sa Pinas. Now, you raise a number of, again, very interesting points. First issue, no, is yung whether your application in or out country is affected by your overstaying sa UK, no? The answer, unfortunately, at the moment is yes, it will be affected by your overstaying. Now, bear with me. I'll just read to you. It's not hindi naman ganong mahaba, no? What the immigration rules say, and this actually applies to all applications. It's part of what they call suitability requirements, no? So, this immigration rules 9.81. So, sabi dito, an application for entry clearance or permission to enter must be refused, no? If A, the applicant has previously breached immigration laws and the application is for entry clearance or permission to enter and it was made within the relevant time period in paragraph 9.87. Pag-usapan natin yung mamaya. Now, pangalawa, second bit to that po is this. An application for entry clearance or permission to enter may be refused, so it's not a must, but may be refused where the applicant has previously breached immigration laws and the application was made outside the relevant time period in paragraph 9.87 and the applicant has previously contrived in a significant way to frustrate the intention of the rules, immigration rules, or there are other aggravating circumstances in addition to the immigration breach, such as failure to cooperate with a redocumentation process, such as a false identity or failure to comply with enforcement processes, such as failing to report or absconding. Now, pag-usapan muna natin yon before we go on to the relevant period. So basically, there are two things counting against you, no? And both boil down to the same thing, that is overstaying, no? Kung naging overstayer ka dito, then the starting point is it must be refused. Yung starting point nga nila. Unless you make an application after the relevant period of time. Yung pagtingnan nga natin, no? So, a breach, overstay ka na, you've already been served with a letter of removal nga. So there's no doubt that you have an immigration background nga. So that means that you come likely under it must be refused. It matters not kung magpasok ng application dito o magpapasok ng application nga sa atin. So kung umuwi ka sa atin, tapos you make an application under the point-based system, skilled worker route, at the moment you are met by this rule, the suitability rule, 9.81 if you want to look at it under the immigration rules nga. And at the moment, it is a must be refused, no? Now, they talk about the relevant period of time. Now, if you have not had, a refusal, sabihin natin, and you malinis nga apart from the fact that you've overstayed, then the minimum time ban would be 12 months, which is not too bad, I suppose, if you in the scheme of things. So 12 months nga. But if you've had a refusal nga and you've not gone back, no, right? In your case, it was made in 2017. Now that means that you would be subject to a ban, unfortunately, of 5 years because you've exceeded the 6 months since you were given the notice of liability for removal nga. So that means that the ban would usually be 5 years. So kung umuwi ka nga ngayon, that would mean that you would be likely subject to a ban of 5 years to come back into the United Kingdom because of the overstaying. So that obviously that may well affect yung mga plano mo, no? So if you want to make an application, therefore, no, for status nga in the United Kingdom, and you're toying with, okay, babalik ba ako o hindi ako babalik? At the moment, as things stand, and this is something that I hope that the Home Office will clarify nga soon, as things stand, kahit nga shortage occupation ang pagpapasukan mo nga dito, at the moment, any immigration breach would stop you from coming into the United Kingdom if you have, if your application is made either nga before or after your visa had expired. So a minimum ban of 12 months. So in your case, you've been in the UK since 2009, no? Now, are there other options? So tingnan nga natin. So if you go back, as I say, at the moment, at least you are met with this rule, and they will probably say to you, no, hindi ka bibigyan ng visa because you breach immigration condition. You've obviously stayed beyond after being asked to leave beyond the 6 months. So at the moment, you're facing this 5-year ban. But so you may want to see about making an application in country. If you're making an application in country, there are things that you need to emphasize nga to the Home Office, because the application, they will look at under what they call exceptional circumstances route. Now, are your facts, are the factors of your case nga enough to convince them that it is correct, it's an exceptional case, and therefore should lead to a grant of leave to remain in the United Kingdom, no? Now, you've been in the UK since 2009, so 12 years ka na nga ngayon. You can potentially see about making an application under private life, no? Dahil matagal ka na nga dito. But that on its own, no, the 12 years na you've stayed in the UK is unlikely to lead to a grant, no? You have to add other things. So with one of the previous questions, the first question galing kay AC, no? Meron siyang trabaho nga, ang trabaho nga niya, kasama nga niya yung employer niya, 95 years old na nga. So if you have circumstances like that, of course, that's also, that would add to any representations of to support exceptional circumstances. But you and AC nga before, well, actually not AC because she has leave to remain, well, she has permission to stay nga at the moment, at least the 2 years while she's awaiting the asylum claim nga. But in your case, you don't, no? And it is an offense to employ someone who does not have leave to remain in the UK. Which means kung meron ka nga employer nga ngayon, they are likely to be subject to action nga, no, on part of the Home Office for employing someone who does not have leave to remain. Having said that, I certainly have come across employers who have been willing to risk that possibility dahil gustong-gusto ka nga niya, no? So unfortunately, not great news for you. Kailangan mo mag-ingat, which is truly, it's a great pity because you obviously fully qualified, I mean, frankly, to achieve 6.5 on the score. Hindi mo kailangan yon for by the way, for the carer route, no? If you qualified under that, which at the moment would be a problem because of suitability. The 7 score that they asked for is really for, I think it was for nurses, but you don't need that. But 6.5 is a decent mark, the IELTS, no? It's quite a hard test to in fact pass, no? So you've done well there, and you have that, nurse ka nga sa atin. So you have all those things going for you, and it is a pity. It is truly a great pity nga, that at the moment people like you who have the experience, who have the knowledge, and who are willing to make those to contribute in the UK are prevented, from making an application even from abroad, to coming to the UK. And I think we discussed this also last week. I think it is something that the Home Office needs to address, because it is they're stopping really people like you, and I'm sure hindi ka nga lang mag-isa nga dito, because with your help and others nga with similar experience and also qualifications nga, they can plug this massive hole for carers, and we're looking at thousands and thousands of people, because the caring profession is obviously a very important profession. They need to nurture people and make the UK inviting for people to be able to take up that profession. And one way of doing that is not make it impossible. And at the moment, you'll probably say to me, well, that makes it an impossible case to stay in the UK, especially if you're trying your best to regularize your stay. So unfortunately, at the moment, I would not advise that you make that you pursue an application, say from abroad. At the moment, the suitability requirement is there. I hope that the Home Office will look at it again, reconsider perhaps, but I'll keep you informed if that changes, because if it changes, then you'll probably be one of the first people that they would want to make an application, and I suspect you would then be successful. So don't. The final takeaway from that, I would just say, is bago ka magdesisyon, seek advice. It can be even a one-off advice when perhaps you can provide your documents, the refusal. So don't make an application without getting full, proper legal advice. I think it's quite important that may background ka na nga eh. Ang ayaw mo mangyari, patong-patong ang problema. So it would be a shame to make an already bad situation worse. So be careful. Huwag ka magpasok, for the moment. But it's hopefully, they will do something to allow people like you who want to help the vulnerable in the UK and also regularize their stay. But keep in touch, because I'm hopeful that it is something that they will look at. With any luck, they will. So, is there anything else? Oh, pagbati na naman. Rodel Mercado Clark, wow, thank you so much for answering my questions. Very informative po. Really appreciate, attorney. May you have a wonderful day. Rodel, it's been a pleasure, I'm looking forward to, that your next installment. Sabihin mo sa amin, pagka nakita na kayo, At saka anong nangyari I would love to know. It's been a pleasure with answering your question. Salamat po. And I hope that I'm pleased that it's of help. No? So sino pa pong bumabati? Question 5. Sorry, question 5. So ano pong question natin? Galing po to kay Ella. Ella M. Hi. What are the requirements for visitor visa in the UK? Or what visa should I apply? My partner is a British citizen. We have a 1-year-old son currently residing in Australia. Oh, lovely. We're planning to go to England once our visas expire. Also, I'm planning to get my son a British passport, but it's complicated to get him one. If you know what to do, please let me know. Thank you so much, Ella M. Okay, Ella. All right. Now, a few points nga dyan, ano? So, type of visa. So, what are the requirements for visitor visa? Partner mo a British, and then of course the possibility of your son getting a British passport. So let's look at those. Unang-una, Ella, I don't. If you're looking to come to the UK because your visas in Australia will expire, no, then you're probably looking to live in the UK, no. So kung yun ang balak nyo, napupunta nga kayo dito na nga kayo titira, then the visit visa is not the correct visa. Ang kailangan mong kunin is it's a spouse visa. No? Now, I'm assuming that you are, it doesn't actually say here, I'm assuming that you're married, but if you're not married, you can still apply for a partner visa nga, as long as you can show that you and your partner have been living together in a relationship akin to marriage a minimum of 2 years. No? Now, so if you're looking to come to the UK to live rather than just not to visit, then really it is that you need, the partner route, the spouse visa. So, anong kailangan nyo pakita? The requirements are, you need to be able to show income, no? Income niya of no less than £18,600. Now, that may be a bit tricky that you're both, of course, in Australia. So he needs to secure really employment in the United Kingdom. And the income must be, as I say, no less than 18,600, unless you have wads of saving, no? I mean, we're looking at thousands and thousands of pounds, depending on kung magkano nga ang income. So that's one thing. So, kailangan nyo din accommodation. So you need tenancy agreement sa kayo titira pagka nandito na nga kayo. You need to also be able to show that the relationship is genuine, which shouldn't be a problem dahil meron nga kayong anak. The issue of kung Pinoy ka, no, then you also still need to do the English language, which is A1 nga. But if you're coming from Australia, you don't need the TB test. So you need to satisfy essentially the requirements for spouse visa. You can of course come in as a visitor initially, no? So kung balak nyo nga tignan nyo nga lang muna if you want to stay in the United Kingdom, you want to accompany your husband or partner nga in the UK, and you want to see if you are if it's a place where you want to settle. Sure, you can come into the UK with a visit visa. Visitor visa, kailangan nyo pakita that you have every intention of leaving the United Kingdom before the visa expires. No? Now, also, of course, during that time, na meron kang accommodation, na sapat din ang pera nyo. The good thing about the visit visa is there's no minimum income requirement, which would otherwise be £18,600. No? Now, so it could be that you want to come in initially as a visitor, tapos tingnan nyo, maybe your husband then or partner nga gets a job in the UK and then pursue, babalik ka sa atin, let's say, or babalik sa Australia, and then you make an application to come back in. So those would be the requirements. So unang-una, check what are your plans, no? And then if ang plano nyo, dito na nga kayo, really it's a spouse visa ang kailangan nyo. Now, with your son, no, if he was born to a parent who is British, or albeit born abroad, but of course at the time, I mean, his father is British. he shouldn't really have a problem to get a British passport, you know. That application can also be made online. So just go on the Home Office website, Ella, and you'll see there should be actually a link. There's a fee, and you need to submit things like British, birth certificate, all those things. But that shouldn't actually be necessarily a problem, because he would clearly be, British nga. So it's yeah. So firstly, check out ano bang gusto nyong gawin, and then when you know that, then you make the application. So that should always be the starting point for any application. No, yun ang starting point nyo. Ano bang purpose? Ano bang dahilan? Why are you coming into the United Kingdom, or why do you want to stay in the UK? Once you've sorted that out, then the next thing is what, and then you decide which is the more appropriate application. So yun. So hopefully that was helpful, Ella. Mayroon ng babate. Good evening, Attorney Lira. Pat Estero. Hi, Pat. Lovely photo. Kamusta? Where are you watching from on this cold day? Rachel Katuisa Bautista. Good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Sonny's in lovely Greece. He left us for tonight, but he is in lovely Greece, and hopefully he's having a wonderful time. I'm certainly having a wonderful time with Direct Pow. Alejo Mark. Mark Alejo. Good evening po sa inyo. Hi, Mark. Kamusta? Are you well? Hope. Where are you? Yeah, tell us. Tell me where you're watching from. Gian Belen. Good evening po. Hi, Gian. It's so cold today. If you're watching us from the UK, hopefully you're keeping warm. Larry Boy Villedo. Good evening, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira. Hi, Larry Boy. Saka nanonood, sabihin mo. Oh, and from Brian Di Mapilis. Ang dami nagbabati sa atin. Hello po, kamusta po mga kababayan natin? Hi, Brian. It's so lovely that you're joining me, and you're joining us, no? Jan Person C. San Pedro. Salamat po sa bagong kaalaman. My pleasure, Jan. It's a pleasure. Look, it's lovely talking to you. Si May Tigbao Vargas. Good evening po sa lahat. Hi, May. Hopefully you're keeping warm. No? It's the weather's turning. No? Si Iris Legislador. No? Good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Maraming salamat sa dagdag kaalaman po. Yeah, it's nice to see you, no? Nice to see you, Miss Lila. Hopefully, it's been helpful to you, no? Mga questions and answers nga. Now, it's just I think that's probably all we have time for, no? Ang bilis, no? It's nearly 9 o'clock na. I've been enjoying myself. I mean, don't tell Sonny, but I really enjoy the Ask Me Anything Thursday. But I'm looking forward to seeing him back. So after the Valentine's, I'm sure babalik siya sa atin. So any questions po that I have not dealt with, and I'm sorry if I haven't nga, email me. Email ko po kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. Telephone number, kung gusto nyo akong tawagan, 0203-375-0555. It's better probably to email me. Kung mag-i-email po kayo, pwede bang lagay nyo dun sa subject, no? Immigration Corner. That way, pwede kong balikan. Because oftentimes, binubuksan ko sa, it's late at night, and then I don't get chance really to reply. At saka huwag nyo kalimutan, lagay nyo please yung telephone number nyo, no? So that I can call you to discuss the issue. So email me kung may problema, you want me to point you in the right direction, happy to do that. And I hope nga, no, that today's show has been interesting. Certainly, it's always an added excitement ko wala si Sonny, because it's obviously we miss him, no? And we miss his input, no? So it's kind of nervous excitement ko wala siya. So come back, Sonny. But having said that, Direct Pow of course, has been her usual brilliant self. Without Pau, we have no show. So thank you, Pau. You know, it's always a pleasure nga, no, working with you. So that just leaves me to say po, it's been a very enjoyable, no, Ask Me Anything Thursday today, and it's certainly for me a happy Thursday, no. Hopefully it's been of help to you, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed nga your company, and it only leaves me to wish you a happy Valentine's Day, 14th of Feb, no? So huwag niyo kalimutan, a bit of roses, a bit of some chocolate will not go amiss, no? And then, so I'll see you all again after Valentine's, next Thursday, when hopefully the lovely Sonny will be back with us. So thank you for me and from Paula. So from me to you and yours, good night and have a nice night. Happy Valentine's. Salamat po. Bye. Oh, they're not letting me go. Edgar, maraming salamat sa dagdag aman. You can ask that. You can ask the. Good luck sa piano lesson mo, Edgar. I tell you what, I have a lot of respect for you because you play, I don't know, something like 6 instruments. Ikaw, I am so bad. I will tell you next time, but I'm so bad. I mean, really basics. So, but thank you for asking. No, so it's perhaps I was a bit too early in saying goodbye. But anyway, again, so unless there's anything else, Pau, anyone else na gusto mo makamusta sa atin, I will say good night.
Bakit na niluluto mo Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.